Bom dia, good morning. It's very nice to see a full room here again. This has been a busy week here at the Chamber. We've had a lot of great events and we're looking very much forward to this one.
Thank you very much. So you're welcome. Do I have to use the microphone? Anyways, good morning everybody, and good morning to the speakers, to everybody else, ladies and gentlemen. And I would say that I'm so honored and humbled to be part of this seminar. And the seminar, like Will mentioned, it's about sustainable development in Brazil, and then about the mayors promoting child-friendly cities, and hosted by the Chamber and the Brazilian American Chamber, and with in partnership, I think, right? With okay, with Fundação Abrinq. Well, we all know that this is September. Every September, the United Nations has the United Nations General Assembly, and one of the major issues in this assembly is that they're going to talk about the progress report of the Agenda 2030. And everybody knows also that the Agenda 2030 is not moving, right? But it has to related to the SDGs launched in 2015. But at this point, we are in the 2024, and then the Secretary General back in, I think, in June, when he presented the progress report of the Agenda 2030, and he did mention, we are getting, the world is having, or getting a failing grade. So, and then the most important part is to get involved with action that can take and accelerate the SDGs forward. And then within that, the actions required, and the major action has to do with what? Has to do with coming up with new ways of funding, new financial ways of helping the different countries, different projects to move forward to achieve the goals. So, and that's precisely what we're talking about. By the way, not all the nations need to advance all the 17 sustainable SDGs. But that depends. Each nation has its particularities. So therefore, we're talking about some countries will have have the advancement in different SDGs, etc. So this is about Brazil. So, and I don't know what to say. I mean, I was like when I followed first of all, I was introduced to Abrinq, Fundação Abrinq. When I look into check into every project that Fundação Abrinq was doing or has been forwarding, etc. My mouth was like open up. I was like, wow, I can't believe it. So it's really with humbleness down here.
Good morning. I'd like to begin by thanking you all for being here, and especially the Brazilian American Chamber of Commerce for the partnership and the opportunity to hold this event. I would also like to express my gratitude to Professor Su for moderating our event, and speakers William Castro and Alexandre Furtado. Your expertise will make our event much more productive. The Fundação Abrinq, or Abrinq Foundation, was created 34 years ago by toy industry leaders, including me. Since then, has worked to promote and defend the rights of Brazilian children and adolescents. We work only with private researchers. This is because we believe that every step we take towards a better future for the next generations is a vital instrument and investment in building a more just society. Together, we can build a nation where children have the opportunity to reach their full potential. Thank you.
All the activities in Abrinq Foundation, they are aligned to the SDGs. There are 17. Now the Brazilian government is proposing the 18th, which is against racism. And 10 are connected to children. So we choose some here to talk about for you. So zero hunger, we're talking about zero hunger, so someone here. I think it would be better someone. So comparing, Brazil is the pink, finalists the purple. Just talk about the total. So we have approximately 9 million children who depend the food at schools as the only meal in their day. So it's amazing. So when we compare cities or municipalities or mayors who are offering school meals, so the child-friendly mayors are giving 2% more. And just watching 2% is not a great number, but it's more than 300,000 children receiving school meals. Infant mortality and child mortality. The SDG says in Brazil that the goal is 5, the acceptable is 5 per 1,000. In Brazil, the total is 12.6, and in the cities that we have the mayors, 11.9. So they are saving lives in their cities. They have programs and projects and activities who are saving lives. So again, it's a small percentage, but in number of children, it's amazing. In Brazil, 100 children between 0 and 5 die every day with preventable causes. So it would be preventable to have it. It's like a plane falling down every day with children between 0 to 5. It's amazing. So that's why it's important to monitor this. So in between 0 and 5, again, our mayors, they are doing better than the whole country. Again, so talk in the beginning, and it's important to know the numbers and to pursue it. I think we're not going to get it 2030, but the idea is to go down every year, so it's important to monitor this. Quality education. Here, daycare centers. We have James Heckman won a Nobel Prize here, saying that if you invest in daycare centers, 3 chances more that children goes to the university, 3 chances less than go to violence, and when you have 1 year, each 1 year more with education, it's like 10% more of income. So it's strange, but we need to invest in the beginning in daycare centers. And we have other problem in Brazil, which is 50% of the families are headed by women. So they need to go to work and they need a place to put their children. We started this program, daycare centers for all, in 2007. And the number was 10% of the children had access to daycare centers. We and other NGOs and other companies, we are helping and they are talking to the politicians, and it's now in their speech talk about daycare centers. So we are increasing the number, the percentage in the number of the children in schools. The goal is 50%, other mayors 41, our mayors 49.9. So again, they are increasing the number and the chance to the children in Brazil to develop their full expectations. quality education. Here, the dropout rate. Yesterday we were talking about the neném in Brazil. I think in English is neither work nor student. And there are more than 5 million people between 14 and 24 out of schools and out of the work. And the idea is to improve the quality of the education in high school and give them some opportunities to be there. And so the dropout in our, the mayor-friendly mayors, it's less than in the whole country. It's a challenge, I think it's everywhere, but it's possible to do it. Again, it's very important. Part of inequalities and to include, reduce inequalities. We have this side, the mayors in Brazil and our mayors there. So our mayors, they are more able to put, to make an active search, to ask children and mothers to put their children in schools, so they can add black people, indigenous, more than other mayors. It's very important that I said to you that now we have like 40% of children with access in daycare centers. However, black poor mothers in slums, favelas in Brazil, the number is 20. So we have a challenge to do this, and they are worried about this, and they were doing better than the other mayors. And here another inequality, so disabilities. So in Brazil, the schools they need to give access to this to those children. A little bit more in our mayors, the finalist municipalities. And the main findings. So, watching for this index, so they have more daycare centers, they have better index in mortality and other. We think that this demonstrates that better indicators than the other Brazilian cities and the child-friendly mayors. They are more likely to protect and promote children's rights, so it's clear that joining the program contributes a more positive impact for the protections and development of future generations. So
we are talking about 1 million children to be benefit from the social credit with 11 great Fundação Abrinq's social projects on the next 6 years. More than that, we are talking about sustainable development goals. So it's an honor to be here in this house, even from a distance, but it was for a good cause. We are currently discussing other projects financed by social credit to benefit more than 10 million poverty people with social projects as Fundação Abrinq issuance, which is why I am here today presenting this panel. But the main reason we are gathered here is that we are on the right place to talk with the right people to ensure two things. Two things, Will, listen that, please, carefully. We want, me and Fundação Abrinq, we are going to issue the first social credits on the world, in the world, okay? And the people here have to purchase the positive impact social credits from Fundação Abrinq, because you will benefit more than 1 million children with 11 social projects. In 6 years, you can help with us to reach the Sustainable Development Goals and the UN agenda, UN 2030 agenda. The second reason here, we are here to ensure that as the carbon credits, listen carefully, Will, please. We want to create a model. As carbon credit is a model to finance our climate challenges, positive impact social credits must become the financial instrument to finance social projects around the world. We can save not just our children, but we can pay for the sanitization, the sewage for people, free sewage, free water, free energy, and we can do this together with the social credit. And what is social credit? We have two kinds of social credits. One social credit D for donation, okay, issued by non-profit organizations as Fundação Abrinq, okay. And we have this social credit C by public entities, by public companies, okay. And the social credit was created as in Fundação Abrinq issuance to finance those SDGs projects, to finance them with 6 years of projects. We are talking here we are talking about a lot of benefits that with social credit, we can also standardize it and make an auditable instrument. More than that, we are talking about 3 things that the impact funds or the philanthropy funds want you see in when they donate. The first thing is the strategy. The second thing is the measurement. And the third thing is the risk management, the low risk management, or more than that, the compliance. And all of that we have on social credit issuance. I will show you then the flow, but here we are talking about a financing instrument that can do a lot of dreams come true from the children. And I won't say more about the projects. I will talk more about the governance of the projects, of the social projects, after in the final of this presentation. But Vitor told you some of the sustainable development goals which we are going to fulfill with this issuance here. But more than that, when we are talking about strategy, an asset management strategy to donate for Fundação Abrinq, we are fulfilling the SDGs goals. Because of that, they want to donate, because 34 years doing that. Sinesio and Vito said that on the presentation, that we have Fundação Abrinq doing those kind of projects that with this money, we can pay for them. 6 years of projects, we can pay with social credit, with the strategy of SDGs, with the measurement that the social credit and Fundação Abrinq can show to the investor, and with the risk management, the low risk management, because all the projects are, and you are going to see, are audited and with watchdog, that the investors can see that the high level of compliance to show the investor that they are donating, in this case, with a reliable financial instrument. And how we issue social credit in the market. On the step 1 and step 2, of course, we are talking about things that Fundação Abrinq knows a lot with those 34 years of knowledge, of experience doing social projects. The step 1, of course, we are now in this step. We finalize the finance committee and the governance committee. We are going to, next week on the administration board, to get the last approval to the issuance. And then we have the step 2 in the issuance flow of Fundação Abrinq. The project evaluation, the business plan. But we did that. I will show you them. I will show now. We have 11 projects here, all with a very good business plan that we did together. And we have a lot of benefits and a lot of guarantees that we have on each project, social projects from Fundação Abrinq. We are on the step 3 now. We just issue social credit if we have investors. So we are starting here today a roadshow to show, of course, to investors, to BTG, for example, will, that we can issue, that we have, that we can issue that with investors that will gonna purchase the social credits to all the 11 projects. More than that, on the step 5 and step 6, you are talking about the application. After the issuance of Fundação Abrinq, they receive the money, put this on an escrow accounting or in one accounting of Fundação Abrinq, 200 million reals, $37 million, okay, which will enter after the issue on the on Fundação Abrinq to pay for the projects. And Fundação Abrinq will start to make those projects after 2026. That's our idea. 1 year, 2025, to plan all the social projects, to do the infrastructure necessary, the contracts, for example, with municipalities, okay, and start to implement. When the social credit starts to implement, the first lot, the first spot of social credits as carbon credit will be assured. In the step 7 and step 8, the assurance is annual, and they will say to the investors that Fundação Abrinq did in 25 to 26 or 26 to 27, they reach the 10 they care, for example, covenant, and the audit said, and we monitored that, and we assure that all the projects have been done as this lot that you paid for.
On the interest rates, basically, Jeremy Powell, the president of the Federal Reserve, yesterday they decided to decrease the interest rate, lower the interest rate here in the US for 50 basis points. He had a speech already, like in a few months ago, saying that they would do that, and they did. And now we are heading to a new cycle of probably interest rate falling. So yeah, we have this steep increase, and now we are going down. And this is a good thing about I think it's Alexandre that was in Brazil. Yeah, when you speak about alternative investments or new investment, like when the interest rates go down, you start to searching for other things. You start to take your money from cash or saving accounts that they pay you 5%. Like we see Warren Buffett, the most successful investor, he's sitting $200 billion in cash because he's getting basically 5% doing nothing, not taking any risk. But if it's finished and it's not getting 5% anymore, and if it starts to getting like a 2%, he was probably going to do something with that money. So when the interest rates go down, of course, the idea is to help the economy, to create some new dynamic in economy, and we are probably entering this new cycle where the interest rates are going down, and this will be, it should be good for the actual activity, economic activity, and not just financial investment like in treasury bonds or this kind of thing. So And this is also good news for the emerging community, emerging markets community like Brazil, because if the interest rate go down here, you start to searching for new alternatives, not just in US, but all over the world. And Brazil has some growth perspective, so you would search for India, China, but also Brazil. And also, another big question now is until when, just returning, like we saw that the interest rate in the US were zero for a while here. Nobody believed that we're going to come back to this unless we have a huge recession, which is not the base case. But we might see something between 2 or 3. Where are we standing for? Well, the market is telling that in the next year, the end of the next year, the end of 2025, the interest rate here in the US is going to be 2.8, not 5.5 as yesterday. How was it yesterday? Not even 5, which is now, but it's going to go down to 2.8. So the market is telling that we have a cycle, a new cycle that is starting, and we're going to see the interest rate going down. And this is important, as I said, for the investments in general, in emerging markets, in stock market, or whatever.
Yes.
Maybe I can ask the first question, get the Q&A going. Looking at the social credits versus your traditional way of funding for Fundação Abrinq, how are you thinking about that in terms of, is that going to be the new avenue for the third sector in Brazil to fund itself? I mean, I think it's super interesting, but also it's always hard to be the first, right? And so I'd love to hear more comments on that, please.
Yes, it's really difficult to be the first, but we don't receive money from the government. We have 50,000 individual donors, small amounts every month, 5,000 companies every month. And in the past we had different supporters, even here from the US, for 10% of our budget. But nowadays it's really difficult to raise money to Brazil here, because the money goes to Africa for sure, it's important. Israel and Europe, the list. And so it's really a new opportunity. We are trying to watch this as a new tool, and we be connected to the accounting part. So when we talk to the companies in Brazil with the president, CSR department, marketing, or human resource, with the volunteers, now we're going to talk to the finance guys, to the accounting. We're going to be audited those programs, so we connect to the new EFRS in rules, S1, S2, whatever. This is an accounting thing, so it's an opportunity.
Of course, we'll be around for Q&A, for conversations here afterwards, but I want to thank everybody for being here to listen to this great presentation. I want to thank Victor and Sinésio for the amazing work from Fundação Abrinq, Alexandre also for being so innovative with this new product, William for the lesson that we got on economics here, and of course, Shu O'Keefe for moderating everything. Thanks again for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next event. Thanks.